Mary Ellen Salamone from North Caldwell, New Jersey, and I am one of the founders and directors of the 4-Action Initiative.
My name is Donna Gaffney. I'm a psychologist and I'm with the 4-Action Initiative, one of the co-founders.
Nearly 10 years ago, my husband was killed at the World Trade Center. He worked for Cantor Fitzgerald. I have 3 children. They were 6, 4, and 2 at the time. As time went on, and the 9/11 anniversary was being remembered in the schools, it became clear that a lot of schools were seeking guidance on what to do and how to address 9/11. They were either addressing it in too much detail or they were just ignoring it and not addressing it at all. And it became clear all the way back in 2002 that there would have to be some kind of curriculum and some kind of guidance for teachers and school staff to help navigate children through the events of 9/11 and through the topic of terrorism in general, because it's not necessarily something that's discussed in school, but yet such a global issue that children live in and will have to face when they leave school. How do we do that? How do we not alienate? How do we not have kids turn around and be biased? Even kids who were 14 at the time are associating, terrorists with radical Islam, as opposed to, terrorism and radical Islam are 2 entirely different things. It just so happens they're the ones who perpetrated the acts on 9/11, but they're not synonyms for each other.
We knew that we wanted it to be K through 12, but we also recognized that K through 3 is not really, those ages are not ready to hear any of this information. We have some very important points that we wanted to get across, that this is not, quote unquote, just a 9/11 curriculum. This is a broader look at all of the elements that came together, not only before September 11th, but after September 11th. And we talk about it in terms of global safety and security, because it's important, obviously, to talk about terrorism as something that threatens our world, but it's also important to talk about what is done about it and how we live how we can be safer in a world that is potentially unsafe. We did get a trial run last week after the capture and killing of Osama bin Laden, and suddenly teachers were faced with this. Now the interesting thing is that probably many of the children hadn't heard the name, or if they had, it was from their parents, but they didn't really know who he was.
We will launch it officially this summer, The Complete. It's a group of lesson plans, as Donna had mentioned, from K through 12. The younger grades are really addressing issues such as friendship and, what is a hero, who are mean people, how do you kind of step up and be an upstander, not a bystander. The middle grades get into the very facts without being all that graphic or political, and then the high school lesson plans really delve into the content matter much more in depth. High school kids going into college and becoming of our leaders, we can't not talk about it in school, because this is a huge issue that you are going to face in the real world. You are going to be the leaders of corporations, you're going to be the politicians, you're going to be the parents. And this is a fact that you are going to have to face in life. You're going to have tools, you're going to have, an understanding and the correct information to order to be successful in life and to face these challenges that you face. But if we don't teach them in school, then how are the kids going to learn them?